Howdy ladies and gents, my name is Thom Gibson, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can take the length of your music and match it to the length of your video and keep it from sounding awkward or cut off. So this is a vlog from when I was in China a couple months ago. I've got 3 songs that I want to use. This whole segment, I want to use this first song. This whole second segment, I want to use this song. But this third song, I want to start around here. So I'm going to have to figure out how to cut that off so it doesn't sound too abrupt. And then the other one just starts. Firstly, if I look at this song, I can see it's kind of the same part of the song just repeated twice. I think I could probably get one more of these starting to fit in this area. I've got a couple other tracks. This first blue track of audio is from the clips, and then the second one is a voiceover. I'm going to mute those for now. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to make a copy of this by holding Option and bringing it down over here, sliding it over, and filling this space with roughly what it'll be. Now I don't want to just put it at the end here because this song you can see ends and then fades out right here. And that'll look kind of weird, like with it fading out, because there's still images going on up here. So I want the music to keep going. Down here, there's like a downbeat that it ends. So let's take a listen to that. 3, 4, 1. Okay, so right about there. I'll say right there. That's where the downbeat is. So I'm gonna move this up here. Okay, good. And I want to get rid of as much space as possible before, so it starts right on that downbeat. You'll notice that I can go right there, but I couldn't get any closer than that because it's only going by frame. If I want to get a little bit more precise, I can right click on my timeline and go show audio units, and now I can actually zoom in a little bit more than I'd normally be able to because I'm actually going down to the audio units. So I'm gonna pull this right. Yeah, you can see I've got a little bit more flexibility with this. I'll probably just cut right there and then start it right there. And I can bring this back and snap it. And let's zoom in a little bit more. I want to create a little crossfade between these two. Hold those two, Shift Command D. You can kind of see that crossfade. So hopefully that'll sound pretty good. I'm going to change this back to... Okay, it might be off by a little bit, but I could play around with that a little bit more if I wanted to. But with this other track going in the background, no one's gonna notice that transition. And it just keeps going. So now I gotta go to the end of it and kind of figure out how I want it to transition to the next part. Let's see, is this right where I want it to start? Yeah, I want that new song to start right on that clip. So I think this one will be, I could probably just do a slow crossfade out. I'm just gonna do Shift Command D, and had they been connecting, it would try to fade them in. From there, I can kind of fade out as soon as this clip starts. Let's take a listen while the other ones are playing too. This time we learned all about Chinese pearls. Good, so this one fades out nice and slow, and this one starts right where I want it to. So let's try to figure out how this song's gonna end, and we'll get into the next one. First, I'm going to make sure my next one is starting at the right spot. I don't really like this little intro part. I kind of want it to start at this, right, that downbeat there is. So I'm gonna go back over here, go right on that downbeat, and I'm gonna delete this. I'll probably use some of it later, but I want the downbeat to hit right when this scene changes, right there. Now it's not gonna be that abrupt. I'm probably gonna add a little bit of that little cymbal crash. So I'll figure out how to fade that in, but I have it in the right spot. Let's say this song, it can kind of just fade out based on the style of the song. And it almost kind of fades out. I think that little noise is a little weird, but I want to give you an example of like if you had an ending that ended a lot nicer, and you didn't want to just fade out, but you wanted to use the ending from the song, what you can do is just kind of look for a downbeat here that you can pull a little bit earlier. So let's mute this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. So I'm gonna try doing that one right there. So this is a little bit of a syncopated beat where it's not like right on the downbeat, so it's a little bit harder to hear that. But let's try and see where I can actually pull this back to. I want it to generally kind of fade out. I'm going to delete that. I want it to generally fade out around this area. Now the trick is to see how far I can pull it this way. I've got a little freedom. I want to line it up with where the downbeat's going to be. So I'm just going to put it right here and listen real quick. 3, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So let me see. That's a downbeat right there. Let me see how that sounds. Okay, so let's do it on here. Dun, dun, dun. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so let me see what that sounds like first with the crossfade. Okay, I actually think that sounds really good. So I'm gonna unmute this and see how it sounds with the voiceover.
Other stuff. Right before she died in 1908, her nephew Emperor died.
Yeah, that's not too bad. And so let's take this back.
We ended our last game.
All right, so what I think I'm gonna do is, since there's a little bit of space here, I'm gonna pull this back. I still have my downbeat right at the beginning, right there. I'm gonna pull this back a little bit and start fading this in at the beginning of this clip up here. So let me pull back, Shift Command D, and I'm gonna do a long, slow fade, and let's see how that sounds. I can do that. If I feel that this fade in is happening a little bit too fast, like if you look at this fade in, it kind of goes up and then over. There's another one called the exponential fade, and this one is more of just kind of a straight gradual increase. Let's see how that one sounds. All right, so there's that.
We ended our last day in Beijing with one of the streets that I was most
there we
excited
go.
about.
Yeah. And then I got pretty lucky with this one because it actually ends, the length of the song is actually about the ending that I want. I'll usually do all this editing after my clips are pretty much set. So I'll just usually put the songs as a placeholder, and I know I'm gonna kind of figure out the minor transitions near the end. So those are some of the ways that I take my music and I match it to the video that I'm editing. And if there's any aspect of editing music or audio in your videos that you're particularly curious about or that you have a hard time with, let me know in the comments. I've linked the actual vlog that I used as an example in this video in the description, as well as right there. And if you want to stay in the loop with any upcoming videos, then hit, tap, smash, press, attack, whatever you want to do to that subscribe button. And hopefully I will see you in the next video.